The only reason why I'm nice to Johnny A is he'll kill me like everybody else. So when it's convenient, you're afraid of me and you put all the bodies on me, to put all the weight on me. When it's convenient, when I was in those penitentiaries in Brazil, Gotti Jr.'s meeting with the FBI. Well, I've got a knife up my ass to kill guys that are trying to kill me. He's sitting with the FBI and having lunch with them in 2005 while I'm in those penitentiaries. And I left my kids. Man. I don't know if anybody understands that. I left my kids to believe in a life that my dedication before my own children was to being a gangster and being loyal to the mafia and being loyal to the Gotti family. While I'm in that fucking pen, these dudes are all giving me up. And I'm not talking about, just some, random suckers or associates or made guys. I'm talking about all the bosses. These dudes are all meeting with the FBI, and it ain't
bosses. You talk about the higher ups in the Gambino crime family are talking to the police?
They're selling me out. They're talking to the police. I got caught in the street in Brazil when I was on the run. I lived in Africa. So, I had connections in West Africa. That's where I got my passports. I picked up 5 passports there. Guys helped me in Cuba, in Colombia, in Venezuela, on an army base. I was all over the world. So when people are saying I had millions, I lost all my money to be loyal to the mafia. I could have sold everybody out, kept my family, kept my money, and lived on a beach somewhere in any city, any state, or any country. But I decided to stay loyal to the belief in organized crime of the Gambino family and the Gotti family. I looked at Gotti Sr. like a father. I loved the guy. Obviously, I would die for the guy. I put my life in front of it for the guy. I respected the guy. And in return, I got his son meeting with the FBI. Ain't no excuse. If you're from the hood, you're from the street, everybody knows what time it is once he went in. So, when later on, 4 years later, when I decided to go back at the guys that betrayed me, the boss of the Bonanno family, Joe Messina, wearing a wire, John Gotti Jr. having lunch and meeting with the government, and he got caught going to meet with the feds. His right-hand man, Captain Mikey Scars, also takes the stand and is meeting with the government. These guys are all betraying me. Well, I just left my kids, I left my family, left my millions, 35 million to be exact, to be sold out by these guys. Gotti had a guy in Brazil that took my 800,000 and sent all my paperwork to the United States government prosecutor to try to give me a death sentence. So when people don't know the facts, they need to go check out what Johnny Alite did for this family, for the Gottis, for the mob, for the Gambino family before anybody tells me 4 years later, be true to the code. Because they already ripped up the code. When I was in prison, they ripped it up and they tried to give me a death sentence and they tried to steal my personal money, not the Gambino family money. So, I'm real out there, you know that. And the betrayal of what the mob did to me. And I'm not talking about 1 or 2 bosses. I'm talking about 14 bosses, captains, bosses of families like Gotti and Joe Messina, wearing wires, informants, any word you want to use from. There ain't no way to change that. I'm using mob lawyers the whole way through so everybody knows I was being true. If I didn't want to spend 1 hour, 1 minute in those penitentiaries, which aren't penitentiaries in Brazil, they're concentration camps. I said, we're getting beat up, tied up, abused for 2 years, 7 months. I could have came home any day, even after I found out they were betraying me. And I still held it. And I still held true to the mob, true to the gangster code, true to all that. And now I say to all these kids, it's a fake code. It's bullshit. Every one of these bosses are selling me out. And I was true to what? True to the guys selling me out, true to the guys stealing my money, true to the guys trying to take my woman, true to all that, true to death, because I was willing to die for them. I said, and when I laid there, they're one after another giving me up. That's the real paperwork, not my word. Everybody go get those opening paperworks. Get that 302 where Gotti was meeting with the government in 2005 and see where I was sitting. When Ronnie Trucchio, his captain, is saying Johnny Alite's too dangerous and a rogue. Go get those statements to say that's why he's talking against me or I'd kill him. Or get that statement in John Gotti's trial when I testify against the guy that ratted on me in a betrayal. And their whole defense is Johnny Alite's too dangerous for anybody to control. He's the guy killing everybody. He's the guy shooting everybody. He's the guy that shot 60 people. They said it. I didn't say it. I just denied it and said it was 40-something people. So, when people are talking about me.
60 and 40 is not... You probably shot people and they probably got hit. You don't know if they died or not.
Hey, Scoop, that's another thing. People ask me, how many people you kill? Who the fuck knows? You get to a shootout, you're shooting a couple guys. You ain't walking over there like I'm a medical examiner checking them. This guy died for sure. This guy didn't die. But, what you said, I could keep naming them. I baseball batted a kid, Johnny, that testified for Gotti on his trial. I baseball batted the shit out of him. And here's the thing, man. I go by myself. He was with another guy. I didn't go there with 10 guys. I shot a guy in the bulkhead. I shot another guy outside the bulkhead, down a Ridgewood area off Myrtle Avenue. I shot both of them. One, Sal Noto's brother-in-law. Let him step forward. Because it's just what you said. I give names. I shot the dude right inside the club because he was fucking with a guy that I tried to protect that betrayed me later on. And he was killed in Kane prison. So these same dudes I'm protecting are betraying me at the same time, but they're crying to me to help them. Or the Keegan brothers, I baseball batted them. Or the Przanowski brothers that lived on 88th Street. I ran up in his house and baseball batted him and his brother. And his father pulled a gun on me. So, these guys, just what you said, I can keep naming names one after another of all the guys I shot. I shot 4 guys at Kickers. It was called Corvettes also on Myrtle Avenue, Metropolitan Avenue in, I guess that's Maspeth. And you got the guys I just named, Cookie and these guys. It was their guys. So these are my enemies, and these guys speak up for me like I speak up for them because there's a mutual respect. If a guy's a gangster, he's a gangster. Cookie Dawson was a gangster. Got shot in the head, got shot in the neck, survived it. And me and him just recently, his father passed away. I went to that wake out of respect for him. A gangster or no gangster, I show, respect. And I didn't go there with 10 guys. I go by myself. And I show people, listen, I'm real. And I'll respect dudes and I'll respect their family if they were real in the game. But if you're a guy that never shot a water pistol and you got nepotism because your father used to be a gangster, that's good. I'll respect your father. But when you start bullshitting people, well, this guy's Albanian, he ain't made. Well, you better go look at that paperwork because on the last time you guys ratted on me, you called me the boss. You all said you're scared of me. You're saying I'm running things. I'm the killer. I'm calling the shots. I'm Gotti's partner. When Gotti got caught ratting, everybody's throwing Gotti under the bus with me, saying he's my partner. So now he's my partner because I'm Albanian. So, when guys talk about, knowing anything about racism, I know better than anybody. Anybody knows anything about communism? I'm from Albania. It was a communist country. My family was suppressed. They all got killed. They were slaves. I was, obviously being Albanian and Italian mafia is racism. Obviously being Muslim, I got a lot of slack. I'm used to it. So I talk real open about color, about these basketball players, what they're doing, that I'm not in agreement for. I talk pro-police because I'm a gangster that knows why I got what I got, because I was in the street. You got to be real. And when a man's black and he's wearing a blue uniform, doesn't mean it's okay to execute him. He's got three kids at home, this guy in St. Louis, and I can get into all those guys. Every man judge him for his character, just what Martin Luther King Jr. said. Don't judge that man by anything else but his character. Was he a good dude or was he a bad dude? If he was a bad dude like the guy that was on George Floyd's neck, fuck him. He was a bad dude. I don't care what color he was. I don't care if he was wearing a uniform. He's a piece of shit that killed a guy that shouldn't have been killed. It's simple as that. We don't got to keep color back and forth.
I have a question for you. Because I'm circling back to the thing that just blew my mind. Why do you think that all of these guys started snitching so much? What is it that the feds did that just made a flood of gangsters to say, I'm going to tell? When the rule was nobody ever says anything.
Because, Scoop, I talk about structure a lot. Structure in a young man's life in the streets now from a father figure. So when he has structure, he understands education first, family second, a good future third. Not the way I was brought up, right? So when you don't have great structure, you do stupid things. So same thing happened in the mafia. They started losing structure. Example, when you get locked up in a mob, we're not allowed to allocate to the existence of the Italian mafia, of the Gambino family, the Bonanno family, the Colombo family, the Genovese family. I could name them, going down the list for everybody. Lucchese family, the Cavalcanti family, the Chicago outfit. We can't allocate that exists. Although the whole world knows it exists, we're not allowed to allocate. But dudes started getting locked up and they're allocating to the existence. When they allocate to the existence, they're breaking our oath, our code, our rules. And by doing that, they're inviting you and me and the next guy that are on the street to get hit with a RICO case. And they're also allocating to positions. Well, I'm a captain. Well, I'm a mate guy. Well, I'm an associate, but I'm looked at as a boss, but I can't be officially made because I'm Irish or I'm Albanian or I'm black or I'm any color. But by doing this, these guys are saving themselves 3 years. But the part that they forget is a fucking rule that we got, that there is no allocuting. But when it's convenient, guys like these nepotism kids, whether it's Gotti, whether it's Franchise, whether it's this guy, that never ain't about shit. They're about, putting me out there, getting their name. That's where you get your name recognition from the work I do. So when you're talking and you're giving up our rules and that structure, that's when the RICO law comes into effect. So now when they catch me, I don't get hit with just an armed robbery or just a shooting. I get hit with RICO, which is almost impossible to beat that case in the federal law system. Anybody knows anything from the street, if they get you, the feds, they're usually sitting on you for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, and they bury you. And this RICO, every one of these guys that are allocated to these positions and the existence, help them convict guys like me. So now it's not so simple. They don't have to get me with a gun or a body. So in my particular case, for the people that don't know, I never got caught with a gun. I never got caught at a shooting. I never got caught with a bullet. I never got caught with a gram of cocaine. I was charged with selling hundreds of kilos a month. I was charged with multiple murders, over 100 baseball battings, more than 25 or 30 shootings, and I copped out in the deal to more than 8 shootings, I believe. I think 6 or 7 murders. I don't even know what I copped out when I cut that deal. After they betrayed me, I was willing to lose my life for all of these guys. But when you lose that structure and that unity of just like in the Army, that's why I can relate to these guys from the Marines when I do these shows. When you go and get deployed to Iraq or Afghanistan or Korea or wherever anybody went, and me, you, and 6 guys go and 1 guy deserts us, we're going to kill him. We're going to kill him, or they're going to give him a life sentence for desert. But what happens to a guy like me that stays loyal to this thing, and they're all deserting me, and they're betraying me, and they're blaming me, and they're putting those bodies on me, and they're putting those shootings on me. And Gotti's telling his guys like Marco, turn his paperwork, who did a video, by the way, from Brazil for Gotti, and he says that the jail wasn't bad, and just listen to his video. And he turned in all my paperwork to the United States government while I sat there, stole my 800 or 760,000 to be exact, stole my money, sent my paperwork to give me a life sentence because Gotti told them to, so they can jam me up, so they can blame it all on me and they can be free. I mean, this is some of the maneuvering these guys did. Or Robert Lamondola, they told he can rat on me. Or Joel Kane that, gets killed in Kane prison, that he can go, on Gotti's side. These guys were getting the okay to talk against me.
Okay, so